Hello YouTube, this is DVD Review Studios here, and today I'm going to be doing a complete collection overview of my entire Blu-ray collection for 2018, which I recently did a video of my entire DVD collection, and similarly, the setup of these Blu-rays has changed quite significantly. They are now on their own custom-built shelving unit. It's actually a portable unit that I custom designed, and I certainly think it worked out incredibly well. It's very neat and tidy, and something that I was overall quite proud of. And so this unit is on wheels. I've just wheeled it out into the middle of the room, so then it's easier to show the Blu-rays in their fullest, and overall I'm just really happy with how this unit turned out. And as you can see from the collection, the majority on the top are TV shows moving into sci-fi movies, and then we have some random superhero movies, some action movies, and then we lead into comedy and animation at the bottom. And of course we have loads of room for the collection to expand, which it most likely will. And each shelf holds about 110, 120 Blu-rays maximum. And without further ado, let's begin with the top shelf. And so to begin the TV section, we have the complete series of Battlestar Galactica 2004. So we have Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, which was my personal favourite, Season 4, and the final season, since Season 4 was split into two separate volumes. Then we have the movie The Plan on Steelbook, which is an absolutely awful Steelbook edition with no inside artwork, very disappointing to say the least. Then we have the Battlestar Galactica prequel film, Blood and Chrome. The complete series of Hannibal, which is a phenomenal adaptation of the original Thomas Harris stories by Brian Fuller into a very nicely put together television show. So we have Season 1, Season 2, which was my favourite, and Season 3, which had a very good ending and was overall a great adaptation of Red Dragon. Some animation, we have Rick and Morty Season 1, Season 2 and Season 3. Mr. Robot Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3. Westworld Season 1, The Maze. Better Call Saul Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3, which was my favourite so far. American Horror Story Asylum, which is the second season of the show, which I quite enjoyed, to be honest. It was a more interesting story than Season 1, which I hated. And Season 3 I gave maybe a couple of episodes a watch and just sort of left it there. American Horror Story really isn't my thing, to be honest. Then we have Sherlock Series 1, Series 2, which was very good, and Season 3, which I really loved at the finale episode of. Then we have 1 through to 7 of The Walking Dead, which is a show that has very much declined in quality in recent seasons. But I did personally quite like 1 through to 4, which we have Season 1. Season 2, which unpopular opinion, but I really enjoyed Season 2. Season 3, which was very good for the character of the Governor, the main antagonist of this season, portrayed by David Morsey. And then we have Season 4, where his story wrapped up. Season 5, which has my favourite episode in it, which is the first episode, where the characters end up at Terminus, and then quite a decline with Season 6, with the Negan reveal, and then Season 7, which was overall pretty disappointing after the first episode, and don't even get me started on Season 8. And then we move into the CW DC shows. We have Arrow Seasons 1, 2, which I really enjoyed for the character of Slade Wilson, Season 3, Season 4, which was overall quite good, but the ending episode was very disappointing. Season 5, which I actually haven't seen as of yet. And then we have the second of the DC shows in the CW. We have The Flash, Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3. Season 1 and 2 of Legends of Tomorrow. Supergirl Season 1, which I haven't watched yet and probably never will. Gotham Season 1. And the animated Vixen movie featuring The Flash and Arrow. Next up we have my Star Wars Blu-rays, which we have the originals and prequels on DVD, but I decided to stick to just the animated stuff and the new movies for Blu-ray, since I don't really want to upgrade the others. So we have the Clone Wars TV series, beginning with the theatrical movie from 2008, and this is actually quite a difficult Blu-ray to come by. It's currently out of print, and quite expensive online on eBay. We have the Clone Wars main TV show, which is seasons 1 through to 5. The Lost Missions volume of the show, which is basically 13 episodes. The Rebels TV series, beginning with Season 1. Season 2, which I really enjoyed. And Season 3, which brought back the character of Grand Admiral Thrawn back into canonical Star Wars as it stands at the moment. And overall was very enjoyable. And Season 4, I believe, is due out on Blu-ray in October. Then we have Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which I thought was absolutely impeccable. Then we have The Force Awakens, which you can argue and technically say is fan service, more or less. But to begin a new trilogy, I thought this was actually a very well done film, only for the new direction, as I assumed it to be destroyed by good old Rian Johnson. For more thoughts on this film, by all means check out my review. Then we have the sort of sci-fi collection as it stands, with Back to the Future, the 30th Anniversary Trilogy box set, the Jurassic Park Ultimate Trilogy, Jurassic World, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn, and the third film, War for the Planet of the Apes, the modern Star Trek trilogy with Star Trek Into Darkness, which was a pretty crap film in my opinion, and Star Trek Beyond, which was incredibly surprising. District 9, one of my all-time favourite sci-fi movies. Elysium. Chappie. Chronicle, which was absolutely breathtaking. Ex Machina. Limitless, the standard Blu-ray, and the American unrated extended cut, which was from Amazon.com, I believe. The Invisible Man, which is a very good classic Universal monster movie. The Thing. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Robot and Frank. Inception, probably one of my favourite, if not my absolute favourite, Christopher Nolan movie. Source Code, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. The Men in Black and Men in Black 2 double box set. Men in Black 3, which I think is superior to both previous movies. Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets. The Box. Argo. Then we have the Hannibal Lecter trilogy with Red Dragon. Silence of the Lambs, my favourite horror movie. Hannibal. And the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street starring Jackie L. Haley as Freddy Krueger. For shelf number 2 we have my superhero movie collection, the majority of which is Marvel orientated, but we do have a couple of DC movies thrown in at the end. And so let's begin with the MCU films, which I've put in sort of their own title order, if that makes any sense, under their own titles rather than the chronological order, which is the date the movies were released in. So let's begin with the Iron Man trilogy. So we have Iron Man, the 2-disc edition, Iron Man 2, which I quite enjoyed for the character portrayed by Mickey Rourke, and Iron Man 3, which is overall quite a generic film. Captain America, the First Avenger, I loved Hugo Weaving's portrayal of Red Skull. The Winter Soldier, which I thought was very good, especially Nick Fury's scenes. And Civil War, which is overall quite a good film, especially for the scenes such as the airport battle, introducing Ant-Man's feature as Giant Man. Guardians of the Galaxy, which is my favourite of the MCU movies so far. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which was very expansive on the characters. And then we have Thor Ragnarok, which was a very good reboot for the character, but overall quite a generic movie in my opinion. Ant-Man, which I really enjoyed, likewise with Doctor Strange. Then we have Spider-Man Homecoming, which is a very well-written film, especially for the plot twist midway through with Michael Keaton's character, of the Vulture. Then we have the Avengers double set, box set, which features Avengers Assemble and Avengers Age of Ultron, which I definitely prefer Age of Ultron out of those two. First Avengers, very difficult to watch for me, quite a tedious movie. And standing well above those two, we have Infinity War, which was an absolutely phenomenal film. Then we have a couple of TV shows. We have Daredevil Season 1, Season 2, which was overall very good, and Jessica Jones Season 1. Then we have the X-Men movie collection. We have the Cerebro collection, as it's called, which is a 7-movie box set, which contains the original X-Men trilogy, the prequel movie Origins Wolverine, which I really did not like, and then the newer films. We have First Class, The Wolverine, and Days of Future Past. Then we have a different cut of Days of Future Past, which is known as the Rogue Cut, with some extra scenes and replaced footage. X-Men Apocalypse, Deadpool, and Logan. Then we have the Dark Knight Rises steelbook, which I really enjoyed this movie. Likewise with Watchmen, which I feel is very, very underrated. Then moving into some standard movies now, which aren't superhero orientated, we have the Stanley Kubrick Visionary Filmmaker Collection set, which features Lolita, 2001: A Space Odyssey, A Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon, The Shining, Full Metal Jacket, and Eyes Wide Shut. Spartacus, starring Kirk Douglas, the 50th anniversary release. And Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, which was a great satire movie. Taxi Driver, classic De Niro film. Goodfellas, which is also a very good Robert De Niro movie. The Wolf of Wall Street. Scarface, the Triple Play edition. A couple of Dirty Harry movies. We have Dirty Harry itself. And Sudden Impact, which I think is the 4th sequel. Not a very good film, to be honest. The Shawshank Redemption. Donnie Darko, which is the 2-disc edition. Fight Club, which I love the slipcover with the "You Are Not Special" written in graffiti. The Social Network. Whiplash. The Great Gatsby. Ip Man, or IP Man, however you want to pronounce it. We have Ip Man 1 and the sequel, starring Donnie Yen. Very good Cantonese dubbed movies, I believe. Or subtitled movies, rather. And then we have the Bourne trilogy, Bourne Identity, Supremacy, and Ultimatum. And then the Bourne Legacy film, starring Jeremy Renner. Man on a Ledge, which is a very entertaining film. Mad Max Fury Road. John Wick. John Wick Chapter 2. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Rogue Nation, and the recent movie Fallout was very impressive. A couple of Liam Neeson movies. We have Unknown and The A-Team. Next up we have Blood Diamond, a great performance from Leonardo DiCaprio. 12 Years a Slave. American Sniper. Gran Torino. The Fighter. The Adjustment Bureau. The Hateful Eight, great Tarantino movie. Baby Driver, directed by Edgar Wright, a very enjoyable film. Split. And Cobain Montage of Heck, a very good documentary film about Kurt Cobain's life. Moving into comedy now, we have some British comedy films. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, which I have on Steelbook. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which was an absolutely phenomenal movie. Paul, again, Steelbook edition. How to Lose Friends and Alienate People. Burke and Hare. Ashens and the Quest for the Game Child. I believe a sequel is in development for that as well, which is quite interesting. Stephen Merchant, his stand-up show Hello Ladies. The In-Betweeners movie. The In-Betweeners movie 2. The Big Lebowski, one of my all-time favourite movies. Silver Linings Playbook, Kick-Ass, Kick-Ass 2, 21 and 22 Jump Street, Crazy Stupid Love, the Hangover trilogy. We have the extended cut of the first film, there's part 2, and part 3, which I quite liked. Then we have the Steelbook edition of Ted, the extended cut of Ted 2, and A Million Ways to Die in the West, which I actually thought was a very good comedy movie. Then we have Pixels, a generic Adam Sandler film. And then we have some animation. We have Family Guy, It's a Trap, the last of the Star Wars movies from Family Guy. Batman and Harley Quinn. The Lego Movie. The Lego Batman movie. The Lego Ninjago movie. And a Star Wars short called The Padawan Menace. And finally, to conclude this collection overview, we have just some more animated films, the majority of which are from Pixar, with the Despicable Me movies thrown in at the end as well. So we have Up, Cars, Cars 2, which I honestly prefer to the first Cars movie, Monsters University, Brave, Inside Out, Finding Dory, and then we have Despicable Me, Despicable Me 2, and the god-awful Minions movie. So, thanks for watching my Blu-ray collection overview for 2018. I really appreciate you tuning in and sticking with the video. And by all means, if you haven't already, you can check out my DVD collection overview down below in the description and at the end of this video. And of course, that is another long-winded video similar to this. And as always, I really do appreciate people's patience with these videos. And if you have any review requests, perhaps, then put them in the comments below. If you enjoyed, do leave a like, and share your thoughts down below in the comments as well. Thanks for watching.